Hi guys, XYZ, and this is the start of a new series I'm trying to create called The Good and the Bad. And this, I go over games, talk about what's good, what's bad, and what could have been done to improve on it. In a way, it's a little bit like a game review, but it's not as fully in depth like most game reviewing companies or whatever. I'm just kind of going through it in my own personal preference, my own opinion, so you may or may not agree with some of the things I'm going to talk about, but this is more just for entertainment value anyway. In this video, I'm going to talk about Tekken Revolution. Now, the reason I'm doing Tekken Revolution is because, as of right now, at least in the US, this is the latest Tekken game for us. But I know there's Tekken 7 already out in Japan in arcades, but that hasn't made an international release yet. I mean, hopefully sometime next year. But anyway, when it comes to Tekken Revolution, it's a good standard fighting game, of the Tekken franchise. It's more or less like a watered down version of Tekken Tag 2. I mean, it's the same type of stages, the same type of characters, but just without tagging. Well, one of the pros, though, is the fact that it's a free-to-play game. So as long as you have a PlayStation Network account, you can actually access this game at any time, get it for free, no charge whatsoever. And that's a good plus for those who have never played a Tekken game before or have hardly ever played any Tekken games at all. And another plus is they have a really decent sized roster. When the game first started, though, there was only like roughly 12 people, so hardly much. But as the months continued and the constant updates, we got to a point where there's almost 30 characters, which that's more than what the first 3 Tekken games had altogether. While being a free-to-play Tekken game, it may seem like a really great idea, but they can't hide the fact there are plenty of problems with this game, unfortunately. And one of them is the whole parameter system that they introduced to this game. I know it was something completely out of nowhere or just wanted to try something new, but the whole parameter system just creates a whole load of problems. Essentially, with the parameter system, you can enhance one's power, one's health, one's vigor, to affect their rage and critical attacks. And with that, it just creates a lot of unbalanced games. So there'll be times where you're going to be facing people who are severely underpowered and you can easily take them down, or there'll be times where you'll be facing people who are severely overpowered and you're going to most likely lose. And because of the whole parameter system, it's like we're placing a bigger focus on stats as opposed to skill. Another big problem is the whole addition to the special and critical arts. The special arts are essentially invincible type moves where when you perform them, they do a good amount of damage. Of course, if you miss, though, it does leave you open for an attack. But the problem is, I see too many people just completely ignoring skill and just keep spamming that special arts button over and over. And unfortunately, I've kind of gotten into a little habit. I occasionally do the special arts attacks most times, and it's not really the right way to play Tekken, honestly. And with the whole critical art, it kind of makes it even worse. With the critical art, it kind of gives you a percentage as to some moves that can actually do additional damage, And I know some characters in previous Tekken games had critical attacks, but they were more or less rare, and not really every character had the ability to do criticals. And my big complaint is the whole fact this game can be easily hacked. It's kind of odd, I mean, who want to hack a Tekken game, but that's kind of the problem, though. With the whole parameter system, I occasionally get games where people who have like over like 99,000 for like power or health, so in any case, you are always going to lose the game no matter what you do. Either they can take you down in one hit, or they're 99,000 health, having like over like 200 health bars. There's no way you can take them down in like 60 seconds. It's not going to be possible, so you will always lose the match. And I know they've cracked down on some of the hacks in the past, but I still occasionally see hacks, especially even ranked hacks, where I see people who manage to hack their rankings to get themselves unofficial ranks. Well, to improve Tekken Revolution, I see there could have been 2 things they could have done. For one, completely abolish the whole parameter system, because that just creates a lot of problems. I mean, besides the potential hacks that people can do, just overall, we're just focusing too much on our personal stats as opposed to skill. At first, when you first play Tekken Revolution, it may seem like a good idea, having increased power or health and vigor, but you don't really see much of a big increase when you first start. But as you keep going on, you come to realize how unfair some of the matches can be. Sometimes you might even lose to low-level people because they're just, maybe overpowered. Because they just keep powering up their power parameter, or they just have a lot of health because of their endurance parameter. And it's just not. That's not how you play Tekken. I mean, all of Tekken games, we always kind of focus on skill. Trying to build up good combos, good attacks. Now it's just more of a game of who can actually hit the person the hardest, which is not really that fun. I say another thing that could have been improved is the whole special arts. When it comes to the critical arts, I say that's okay, but maybe limit that down to just one move instead of three. But when it comes to the special arts, I say it just needs to be gotten rid of completely. When it comes to the special arts, it's just a kind of a cheap move that every character can do. They can hide behind, they can attack whenever they want, and for the most part, you get into games where even low skillful people somehow still manage to win by just keep spamming the special art button, and we keep falling for the same attack pattern and to get us into it. And I just don't think it's the right way to play Tekken. None of the other Tekken games had any special type moves like that. It's more or less kind of going on a frontal assault to try to attack the opponent first. We're not trying to cowardly hide behind cover with the special arts. It's just really not the right way to play Tekken. Overall, I say Tekken Revolution is a decent Tekken game with a decent fighting mechanics, and it does kind of give you some satisfaction of a Tekken game. But I say if you are going to get this game, just be cautious as this is not the true Tekken experience. None of the other Tekken games had anything like this. Tekken Revolution just has these weird mechanics thrown into it. It seemed like Bandai Namco was just testing new things out for future Tekken games, and it just didn't quite work out, so they just quickly abolished that altogether for Tekken 7, which I'm glad they did because then they would have created a lot of new problems in the future. But I would say if you really want to get a good Tekken game, go with something more decent, more current. Go for Tekken 6 or Tekken Tag Tournament 2. And those are kind of more the traditional ways to play Tekken. For Tekken Revolution, though, I would probably give it a score of a 6 out of 10. A little bit above average, but still a decent Tekken game. Well, this is DevilHunter XYZ, and until next time.